The wait is almost over. Episode 8 isn't a finale, it's an execution. Because on Wednesday, September 24, Alien Earth isn't just ending its first season. It's ripping the floor out from under every character trapped in Neverland Labs. And you can already feel it: fire, betrayal, alien blood in the trees, and a cliffhanger so cruel it'll leave us starved for Season 2. The fear we missed: we were taught to fear the xenomorphs. Acid bleeding, nightmare stalking, whole colonies erased by one claw. But the finale flips the script. It's not about fearing them. It's about fearing us. Because Wendy isn't a frightened child anymore. She isn't asking her brother for comfort or begging for freedom. She's standing in shadows, saying flatly, "We thought we feared them. Maybe they feared us." If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, you're not paying attention. Hero or villain. So who is Wendy now? Protagonist or predator? Savior of the SYNs or the last nail in humanity's coffin? And what happens when her xenomorph friend isn't chained anymore, but set loose in the wild, answering only to her voice? Morrow's speech. The promo gives us our first clue. Morrow, beaten down, scarred, but still dangerous, delivering a speech in captivity. Not a plea, not regret, but motivation, instigation. Whispered like a cult leader to SYN children who've never known a life outside Neverland. Imagine, he tells them, feeling power greater than humans ever dared. This isn't just manipulation. It's vengeance disguised as freedom. And little by little, the SYNs are listening. Children vs. predator mind, because here's the ugly math: the SYNs are kids. They're clever, they fight, but deep down, they're scared kids. Morrow? He's a fully evolved cyborg with centuries of hatred and scars. He knows how to play their strings. He knows how to plant doubt. And if you think these children won't be swayed, remember slightly. Remember how easily manipulation dragged him to the edge of death. So ask yourself in Episode 8, will the SYNs guard the home Cavalier built for them? Or will they torch it with their own hands under Morrow's command? Are they children fighting for life? Or soldiers already drafted into someone else's war? Brother Vess, sister Wendy and Joe, and circling within that storm. The most heartbreaking fracture: Wendy and Joe. Joe, who still believes, not in Cavalier, not in scientists, but in saving at least a shred of their humanity. And Wendy, who looks at him like a stranger, spitting out the venom planted in her head. We're not food to them. No, Joe. You're food to them. That's not rebellion. That's indoctrination. And the finale is making one thing brutally clear: Wendy's tether to family is snapping. If she can abandon her brother, what hope does humanity stand? Because lurking behind it all, Morrow's masterstroke: free a xenomorph, kill scientists in cold blood, unleash chaos in the forest, and with blood dripping from metal claws, whisper to the SYNs, "See, humans only ever used you. Machines only ever chained you. I give you freedom." Is it freedom or enslavement to his revenge? That's the forbidden secret. Victory here doesn't mean liberation. It means choosing a new prison, one built not with cages but with promises. And what of Cavalier? For one season he's been painted as twisted but visionary. Money poured into labs. SYNs manufactured for his dream of civilization reborn. But the promo shows him in bulletproof armor, staggering underground alone, face helpless as chaos closes in. That moment is telling. Civilization doesn't rise in Neverland, it collapses there. And Cavalier? He's reduced to a spectator, forced to watch his new species spin out of control. It's ironic. He created the SYNs to secure humanity's legacy, and instead they may torch it themselves. And this is where I have to say it. Subscribe right now. Because the finale isn't about who survives, it's about what changes. Forbidden knowledge is going to drop. Secrets about SYN origins, xenomorph hive links, and what Season 2 could unleash. If you miss that cliffhanger, if you're not here when it detonates, you'll be scrambling through spoiler threads while the truth devours you. Subscribe now, because this ending isn't built for the faint of heart. The montage says it all: an adult xenomorph loose in Neverland's forests, shredding soldiers like trees. SYNs divided, some feral, others still clinging to loyalty. Kerr's loading a gun, and something in my gut says that muzzle is pointed at Morrow. The fight teased for weeks: Kerr's vs. Morrow. Two ancient cyborgs, two relics turned war machines, locked finally in single combat. This isn't spectacle, it's inevitability. But the bigger question is, do we end with victory or exodus? Will Wendy rally SYNs to escape Neverland, leaving Cavalier's dream burning behind them, and setting up a Season 2 chase for freedom? Or will Morrow drag the specimens away, leaving nothing but ash and regret behind? Will crack the emotional heart which SYNs die, which betray, and whether Neverland is truly a sanctuary or just the first graveyard of a much bigger war. Episode 8 isn't built like a finale. It's built like a battlefield autopsy, cutting open every character, spilling out loyalty, betrayal, and secrets we never wanted to face. Promo glimpses show SYNs divided, some still clinging to Cavalier's vision of family, others already slipping under Moro's poisonous whispers. Look at Slightly, once manipulated, nearly killed by blind loyalty, and now, his eyes burn with that killer mode glare in the teaser. Tell me that isn't Moro's mark all over again. And the problem is brutally simple: they're young. SYNs act like kids because they are kids. Kids with steel bones, alien DNA, and enough firepower to level a lab. So when Moro tells them humans only see them as food and toys, how many will stop resisting and finally believe him? Who stands, who falls? Comment this right now. LOL. If you think the SYNs guard the lab and save Cavalier's dream. BTRAD, if you think most SYNs turn joining Moro and abandoning Neverland. Because honestly, loyalty in this finale may not survive longer than 5 minutes of runtime. The war of two relics, but among these children, one battle bruise that feels biblical curs ves Moro. Two ancient cyborgs. Two relics from the first days of experimentation. Curs the eternal soldier clinging to his codes. Moro the apostate driven by hate and vengeance. The promo flashes Curs firing shots inside his lab. And tell me, doesn't your gut scream it's Moro he's firing at? That fight isn't just fan service. It's forbidden prophecy. Because their duel isn't really about victory. It's about survival of their legacy species. Whoever wins doesn't just crush the other, they inherit the SYNs as their prize. Mentor vs. monster. But here's the dread. Curs fights for a dream already collapsing. Moro fights with a plan festering for decades. So who wins? Idealism or vengeance? And more importantly, what's left standing when cyborgs that old finally burn their batteries in final combat? Let me be real, if I was in that room, blasters firing, cyborg fists ripping walls apart, I'd already be Ash in the corner. No bets, no predictions, just, yep, he died in the background. Roll credits. The first sacrifices, and it's not just cyborgs in danger. Promo clips hint at tragedy in the SYN ranks. A blurred figure, maybe one of the siblings, falling during the chaos. Dems scream, looking more like a grieving mother than a fighter. It's heartbreaking and calculated. Because Episode 8 has to teach us a cruel fact: SYNs can die. They're not machines. They're children on borrowed time. And if one falls here, it's not just set up for tears. It's set up for Wendy's full break. Every death ripping another shred of humanity away until nothing's left but Queen Instinct and Hive Fury. If SYN dies, who? Drop your predictions below. Slightly the manipulated wanted. Dems? Child. Or a shocking betrayal that costs one of the favored twins. Because let's be honest, the finale isn't skating by without a body. The forbidden design of Neverland's fall. But here's the secret no one wants to admit: Neverland's collapse isn't a failure. It's the plan. Cavalier thought he was building a sanctuary, raising a new people, creating children who would love him back for creating them. Wrong. He built an arena. Neverland was never a utopia. It was an experiment cage. A slaughter chamber disguised as home. The second xenomorphs entered, the entire ecosystem tilted toward blood. And Cavalier's dream dies the way most human dreams do in alien canon, with fire, betrayal, and hunger. You as Cavalier now imagine it's you. You spent every dollar, every ambition building this place. Your children betray you. Your investors turn. A xenomorph stalks the halls. What's your move? Do you fight until the last bullet? Do you burn it all so your enemies starve? Or do you watch helplessly as everything shatters, begging for a rematch next season? Comment your survival instinct. I'll tell you mine later. Spoiler, I wouldn't even make it past the alarms. Cavalier's helpless face, and the promo shows this brilliantly. Cavalier alone underground, body armored, face screaming helplessness. He built the lab to be untouchable. And now, it crumbles around him like sand. That's the image the finale burns into us. Creator broken by his creation. And that isn't failure.